Hello, everybody. Welcome to What's Wrong with the World Hour. I'm your host, Jason Hicks. What's Wrong with the World Hour is uh, we'll say, a part of We Still Believe Ministries. And what we do, we're going to talk about things that are what's wrong, what's going on in the world. I mean, that's pretty much it. The weird stuff. I want to talk about the weird stuff. We start out, sometimes we talk about like usually we've picked on COVID a lot, but what we're going to do, we're going to try to I'm going to try my best not to pick on COVID or the church tonight. We'll say, somebody out there will be like, "What? He's not going to pick on the church?" That's kind of weird. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try my best not to. Paige said, "Good luck." I don't know. Y'all think I can do it? Do you think it can be done? I'm going to try my absolute best though to not pick on the church too much. And I got the logo on. But anyway, it's going to be fun tonight. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about. Hey, wait, hold on, hold up. What'd you just say? That's what we're talking about. Yeah, and this morning we talked about hypocrite, the two faces of a hypocrite, and being a hypocrite. And we'll probably pull it offline. So if you want to watch it, you better hurry up because the audio was just, I don't know, it was wrong on it. How's our audio tonight, Paige? Audio good? Anybody out there listening? Ma'am?
Sounds great.
Paige said sounds great. So out there listening, we want you to share. So I got talking about that one day, so I thought it would be a pretty good idea. I hope Paige has already shared it. If not, maybe she's ashamed of me. I don't know. But anyway, I'm just picking on you. So what we're going to talk about today is hold on. What'd you just say? And it's going to be kind of interesting. We'll start off with the scripture. This one will really apply for like the entire thing. Okay. Fascinating stuff going on. Fascinating stuff. So the scripture is, let me go this way so that way you can see it. Is 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 3 through 5. And it's, anyway, this is Paul talking to Timothy here and picking up let's pick up verse 2. I lied. Preach the word, be ready in season and out of season, reprove, rebuke, and exhort with complete patience and teaching. Here we go. For the time is coming when people will not endure sound teaching, but having itching ears, they will accumulate for themselves teachers to suit their own passion and will turn away from listening to the truth and wander off into myths. Ain't that something? So they're gonna get these teachers. They'll teach them what they want to do, and they'll say, "I can do whatever I want to do." You know what I mean? This is my truth. Don't we hear that all the time? So check this out. So we got some stories we're going to talk about today. This I pulled off of Reuters. Okay, this is pretty interesting. So there's these Christian rabbis. How about that? These are Orthodox rabbis that are they're writing Torah scrolls. They're performing conversion things like, I mean, big deals, in Judaism, and they're secretly Christians. Ain't that something? So it started off with something kind of good, right? Something light. It says the two rabbis reportedly performed marriages and divorces, wrote Torah scrolls, and even officiated Orthodox conversions. You have to converting somebody to their faith is a very big deal. Okay, it's not something that they take very lightly. Not like Christians. You just come to the altar, we pray. Hey, you're a Christian. You're saved. You're one of us, right? You're on the team. With Jews, apparently it's a little stricter. So it says accusations have been leveled against a father and son in the United States who practice as Orthodox rabbis of secretly being evangelical Christians. Dun dun dun! Whoa, man! The father and son in question, Michael and Caleb Isaacson, have worked as rabbis in Orthodox Jewish communities throughout the United States. These include Portland, Milwaukee, Houston. Currently, they're in Phoenix. While in Houston from 2014 to 2016, Michael reportedly worked as a supervisor for the local Kashrut Association. I'm going, all right, well, this seems kind of, let's see. It says the accusations against them were leveled by Beninu, an Israel-based anti-missionary organization. Anti-missionary, ain't that something? Anti-missionary organization who claim they have relocated whenever the suspicions of local rabbis were aroused. Investigations conducted by the Jewish Chronicle corroborated these claims, revealing that Michael Isaacson, named Michael Dawson until 2019. Ooh, right? Grew up Lutheran and was married to a Lutheran, or married in a Lutheran wedding, and his relatives were shocked at claims of him being Jewish. So they're checking these guys out. He grew up Lutheran, got married as a Lutheran, and his family don't even know that he's claiming to be Jewish. He's like an undercover brother, right? Regardless, the father and son have managed to amass documentation from rabbis giving validation to their claims. This includes Samicha, which is ordination, and Caleb's being signed off by one Rabbi Michael Aminov, a rabbi in Arizona. Bennu fears, however, that their documentation could lead them to attempting to make Aliyah. The family was noted to have taken part in an event at the Gates of Zion, an Arizona-based missionary organization. However, when speaking to other rabbis, they denied any interest in missionary work and claimed they were only involved with such organizations for humanitarian purposes. So, hey man, we're just here, we're here with the Christians, but we're just here for humanitarian purposes, because apparently they don't believe in outreach, right? They don't believe in mission work. They ain't gonna go convert nobody. You come to us. That's what they want to say. Hey, Joe. So the investigation of Bennu, further revealed that the Isaacson, they have been confronted before. These confrontations, though, when asked if they believe Jesus to be the Messiah, they have stated, "We do not reject Yeshua," which is Jesus, the Jewish Messiah. So we do not reject, we do not reject Yeshua, the Jewish Messiah. So they don't reject him. So, but they're claiming to be, rabbis. They're claiming, they're doing Jewish rites and things like that, sacraments. But yet they say, we don't deny Jesus. Ooh, right? It's like undercover, undercover Christians. But these are actually the good kind of undercover Christians, okay? All right, so, but, we're talking about hypocrites this morning. That was what our service was about. It was about the two faces of the hypocrite. And so we're going to kind of get into some of that tonight. I mean, kind of what you build off of, right? Like Legos. Just keep stacking them. Just keep building them. Because it's easy. If you're talking about the church, you can talk about hypocrites. I'm not trying to talk about church. I'm talking about church this morning. Throughout the time of the U.S., the Isaacsons have reportedly performed a number of important Jewish rituals, including conducting weddings and divorces, writing holy scrolls like Mezuzot, and even officiating Orthodox conversions, the latter of which was done alongside this rabbi in Arizona, allegedly while claiming to be on behalf of Israel's chief rabbinate. If the accusation against them are true, every single one of these rituals would be rendered invalid. Think about that, man. Talk about holding a grudge, right? It's God's people, man, full of love and grace and mercy, right? So you got married by this father and son. It's null and void, man. But in all honesty, they may have reached you for Jesus. See, it's all right. You go convert to Christianity. Get married again. It'll be fun. Do it a second time, right? So that's they say it was not approved to carry out these sacraments, and it's just amazing. So here you have Christians, right, throughout the world, throughout the nation. We're just talking about the United States. They last year, what did we do? Nothing. Sit on our butts. This year, what are we doing? Sitting on our butts doing nothing. But then you got these two guys. They're pretending to be Jewish, possibly. I don't know. They changed their names. Their family didn't even know that they're Jewish. How do you get to be a priest, right? How do you get to be a priest? Right. And the people in your family don't even know. They're like, what? Jewish? No, man, Lutheran, dude. He got married in 2019, 2 years ago. It wasn't like it was a long time ago. And he said, I'm going to infiltrate the Jews. I'm going to infiltrate the priesthood. And then I'm going to spread Christianity. I'm going to win the Jews, God's people, for the cause of Christ. They need to realize Jesus is here, man. He's already here. He's already come and gone. And now he lives with us. He's in spirit here, right? So I don't know. I just thought it was awesome because we were talking about hypocrites this morning. Don't be a hypocrite. And then we see these guys, and they're like, you know what? They don't have the itching ears. They know there's that call, so they got to get it done. They got to get it done. We're getting the itching ears in just a little bit. But I mean, isn't that uplifting though to know there's people out there that get it, right? They're you know what? They know the mission. There's a mission field here. Let's go find it. You don't have to go overseas. It's like we were in one particular denomination. In this particular denomination, I guess it was a southeastern denomination, all did this mission trip to some poor city up in West Virginia. If you're in West Virginia, hey, I have nothing against you. But we're sending, I mean, probably millions of dollars out of the region down here to this little city in West Virginia. We're going to build them new churches, and we're going to add on to their houses and make their house nice. These people are just living squalor. And we're going to give them a hope, you know, and we're going to build their homes up. I said, where do they work at? Well, that's the thing. I mean, there's just nowhere to work there, you know, because government policies throughout the decades have taken closed all the coal mines and taken all the factories out. So there's nowhere to work. But we're going to go up there and we're going to spread the joy of the Lord. And I said this at the church we were at. I was like, well, why don't we just send them some money, get them a bus ticket? Maybe open up a shelter like in Cincinnati, somewhere that's close by, major city, and get them some work. And then, you know, open the shelter, let the men work. And then when they have money, then they can go buy a home and bring their families. And they can be prosperous. And they said, what? Well, why would we do that? I don't know, because you keep doing the same thing every year and their situation doesn't get better. You're not doing anything. You're not being a good steward of what God's given you. You're not helping anyone. Okay? When you, what you're doing is you're patting somebody on the butt, you know? Because if you're helping them, you're giving them a way to progress their life. You're not just it's like putting a Band-Aid on a water leak, you know? Get a pipe leaking in your house, just stick a Band-Aid on it. It'll be all right. It just diverts the flood. That's all it does. It's still going to flood. Eventually, it's going to shoot off. And so that's what happens. But you look at like these guys. They're getting in there and they're going, hey, there's a better way. You know, let me tell you about Jesus, right? And so you're actually giving them something that they can build on. And they, you know, anyway, it's just amazing. It's just amazing to me. And so I thank God for those guys. I hope they don't get arrested or get in any kind of trouble. But so here's another fun one. That was off of Reuters. That's lamestream media. This one here's off of Breitbart. I like Breitbart. If you haven't ever looked at Breitbart, it's kind of fun. It's just like anything else. Take everything that you look at with a grain of salt. You know, you start seeing more and more things that kind of echo it, but not are the exact same. To me, it becomes a little more trustworthy. Well, I see like the news today. You look at. We were watching it the other day. We had the TV on for some reason. And I told Paige, I said, you know, we watched so little of the TV that like I went and bought a new remote control. Bought a bigger one because the other one was small. This way it'd be easier to find. I like the other one. Come to find out better. But anyway, I didn't know how to work the remote control. We don't really work anything with the volume button. Anything we watch, we pull off of YouTube or something like that, you know, or Amazon if we're going to watch a movie. We don't watch TV. And so I'm looking through it, you know, and ABC, NBC, CBS, three major players on your basic cable, which is what we have. They're all three running the exact same story at the same time. National news. I flipped to one, flipped to the next, flipped to the next. They all had the same story. It was booster shot hesitancy, I think is what it was. And it was like, what, is this programming or what? You know what I mean? I noticed it years ago, like probably 20 years ago, I was watching one day, it was like, they're all talking about the same thing at the same time. And it was just kind of interesting to me because it's like, huh. But when they start saying they're all saying the same thing at the same time, it's called what? Programming. Okay? And and I don't mean like, because churches do that. We're going to talk about Jesus, but we're going to talk about him in different ways. We're going to talk about different works of the Spirit, so it's different. Okay? But when you start looking at news, you start looking at politicians. They say the same thing over and over and over. And they try to get you to believe it. But so that's where we're going to kind of look at the story from Breitbart. This is climate experts are 0 for 41 with their doomsday predictions. And then he updated it to 0 for 53. Hey, that's something, but people still believe them. All this climate crap. So we're going to kind of go through it and break it down, just cherry pick some of the good ones. But you think about it, remember, they said the world was going to end in 12 years. So by 23, we should be dead because of global warming. Climate change. Climate change is gonna get us, y'all. I'm just telling you. That's what they keep saying. This is what you have to know. Trust the science. Trust the science. Okay? Because they have a consensus of scientists that change their mind all the time. All right, so here we go. For more than 50 years, climate alarmists in the scientific community and environmental movement have not gotten even one prediction correct. But they do have a perfect record of getting 41 predictions absolutely wrong. In other words, on at least 41 occasions, these so-called experts have predicted some terrible environmental catastrophe was imminent, and it never happened. This is like they came out and said this is going to happen. And not once, not even once, have these alarmists had their predictions come true. He says, think about that. The so-called experts are 0-41 with their predictions, but those of us who are skeptical of expert prediction number 42, one that says that if we don't immediately convert to socialism and allow Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to control and organize our lives, the planet will become uninhabitable. Oh yeah, that was spoken. That's crazy. So why would any sane person listen to someone with an 0-41 record? Would you pull for a football team's football season? Would you pull for a football team with 0-41? No, I wouldn't. Would you get saved if Jesus was 0-41 healing people? Would you trust him to heal you? I don't think so. I wouldn't. Maybe you would. Maybe that's the kind of God you serve, but I don't. Why would we completely restructure our economy and sacrifice our personal freedom for experts who are 0-41? Ain't that the truth? Why are we destroying our lives for people that are wrong like every time? They're wrong on everything. They're wrong on the economy. They're wrong on the climate. They're wrong on everything. So anyway, if you had an investment counselor who steered you wrong 41 times, would you hang in there for number 42? I wouldn't. You ain't managing my money, dude. No way. No way. Of course not. You'd fire him after failed prediction number 2 or 3. Absolutely. If that's not crazy enough, the latest ploy is to trot out 16-year-old girl to spread prediction number 42 because it's so much more credible that way. Remember what number 42 was? The cooling. No, that was 1975. Oh, that's right. He updated them. That was the one that said we need to all become socialist and give in to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and let her and her people control it and organize our lives, or the planet will become uninhabitable. That's what Greta Thunberg said. How dare you? Okay, there. That's hate speech, I think, or it was last year. Sometimes you just have to sit back and laugh. Anyway, he says, I want you to have the data, so go ahead and print this out in advance of Thanksgiving dinner. Adam, annoy your obnoxious millennial nephew with it. So here's their list of doomsday predictions of climate alarmists have gotten right. None, zip, zero, nada, blank, donut hole, nil, nothing, void, zilch. Okay. List of doomsday predictions that the climate alarmists have gotten wrong. Here's the source. All right, here we go. You ready? Number one, 1960. I feel like it would be great if we had a drum roll, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
1967, dire famine forecasted by 1975. I wish I could hear the crickets. 1969, everyone will disappear in a cloud of blue steam by 1989. That was predicted in 1969. We're still here. This is like, I wish I had Williams Brothers playing in the background, but I'm still here. Yeah. 1970, we're going to be in an ice age by 2000. Ain't that something? It didn't happen, did it? Let's see here. 1970, they said America will be subject to water rationing by 1974 and food rationing by 1980. We were almost there under the Carter administration, and guess what? It's like we're worse than Carter, I think they said right now. So we might be there here shortly. Let's see here. New ice age by 2020. They said that in 1971. Number 9, 1974, ozone depletion, a great peril to life. Ain't that something? Ozone depletion. They started that in 74. Okay, you can't get rid of us, y'all. You can't get rid of us. Trust the science, though. Scientific consensus. Planet cooling. Famine's imminent. That was in 1976. We're going into an ice age, man. 1980. Does anybody remember this? Acid rain. Acid rain's going to kill life in the lakes. I remember them talking about acid rain in the 80s. I was little, but I remember it. 1988. Regional droughts. That never happened. I mean, already, it's like the weatherman. I guess the weatherman predicts this stuff. You get the weatherman to do it, and then That way everybody just keep believing them because that's what we do. Everybody, it amazes me that everybody complains about how awful the weatherman is. He's so stupid, he can't ever get it right. It sucks. But they tune in every day to see what the weather's going to be tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. It's 1988. The Maldive Islands will be underwater by 2018. They're not. Let's see here, number 16, 1989. Rising sea levels will obliterate nations if nothing done by 2000. No, nobody's underwater. 1989. New York City's West Side Highway underwater by 2019. Unless you give up all your freedoms and quit driving a car. Trouble is, it's not. It's still sitting there. Yeah, ain't that something? In 2000, children won't know what snow is. Maybe the ones that are in hell. I don't know. You know what I mean? They didn't get saved. They went to hell. They'll never see snow. You know, they'll forget what it was. Let's see here. 2002, famine in 10 years if we don't give up eating fish, meat, and dairy. So we should have had a famine, 9 years ago now. We're in famine, y'all. You just didn't know it. You can't get feet. You can't get feet. You can't get fish, meat, or dairy. Because we're in this famine because of global warming. Oh, climate change. I'm sorry, climate change. Change to climate change. I couldn't get it right. 2004, England will be like Siberia by 2024. We still got 3 years, 2.5 years on this one. That could happen. I doubt it, but it could. You never know. 2008, Arctic ice will be ice-free. Arctic will be ice-free by 2018. No, still got ice up there. Dang, man. 2008, climate genius Al Gore predicts ice-free Arctic by 2013. No, didn't happen.
I know why these hadn't come true.
Why?
Because of the implements that they have put in.
Yeah, the implementations, yeah.
Yes.
Where they stole our freedom. That's what. Imagine how COVID helped with that too.
Yep.
It's just sick. 2009, climate genius Prince Charles says we have 96 months to save the world. 2009, UK Prime Minister says 50 days to save the planet from catastrophe. It was in 2009. Boy, was he wrong. Yet they still put him on the news. Let's see here. 2009, climate genius Al Gore moves 2013 prediction of ice-free Arctic, to 2014. Pushed it out a year. Still wrong. Let's see here. 2014, only 500 days before climate chaos. Yeah, well, it didn't happen, did it? Ain't that something? 1968 says overpopulation will spread worldwide. Okay. 1970, world will use up all its natural resources. No, that was 51 years ago. Still hadn't done it. We found more. God just keeps making it. We keep using it. 1966, oil gone in 10 years. No more oil in 10 years. That was 55 years ago. Yeah, oil's going to run out because they said it came from fossils. It comes from the decaying fossils of the dinosaurs. I'm not going to get into dinosaurs. I'm going to try not to anyway. Paige says no. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about dinosaurs. I'm not going to talk about children's fables and stories. But there's oil reservoirs underground. It's not from the seepage of dinosaur bones. Okay? It's just not. Just because they told you in school. Just like you go see the guy in the white lab coat. You know, remember when Dr. Fauci started coming out in the white lab coat? Everybody believed him. Remember that? Now he comes out in suit and tie, nobody believes him anymore. How about that? I guess he got smart because he took that mask off. He took off the stethoscope and the white lab coat, and all of a sudden we can't believe him anymore. So anyway, that's what, yeah. So we got here 1977. The Department of Energy says oil will peak in the 90s. Well, it's still going up. We're still getting it. And number 33, 1980, peak oil in 2000. No, wrong. 1996, they said peak oil in 2020. No, still wrong. 2002, they said peak oil in 2010. So they backed it up 10 years. Still wrong. 2006, super hurricanes, right? Because we still talk about Katrina, because we're going to have all these super hurricanes. The one we're still talking about is Katrina. When was that, like 04? Is that when that was? 04, 05, something like that? I don't even remember. But that's the last real like major one we had. We've had some big ones, but super hurricanes. They're going to be every year. We're going to die because climate change. Because you drive an SUV that only gets 20 miles to the gallon, or 14 miles to the gallon, and you're killing everyone. Ignorant. Anyway, okay. 2005, Manhattan underwater by 2015. That hadn't happened yet, has it? Dang, man. I mean, would you think about it, if you went to your church and the preacher was wrong this many times? Would you keep listening to him? I wouldn't. 1970, urban citizens will require gas masks by 1985. That's what we're saying in 1970. No, we don't need gas masks because of our carbon footprints. Anyway, okay. Let's see here. We got some more. Decaying pollution will kill all the fish. That was said in 1970. Now, I just had a fishing tournament last week at Lake Murray. Let's see, 1970s. Killer bees! They do that. I think they recycle that one like every 15 years. I've seen it twice already in my adult life. Killer bees! I can remember. It was like, oh, I'm scared to go outside. I saw one at work one day, y'all. Good Lord. This thing was like this big. It was huge. The body of it. It was in the truck. I'll look over. I jumped out the truck, man. Thank God it wasn't moving, right? Still in park. I jumped out the truck and it's like, good Lord, that thing's just sitting there looking at it. I thought, if it stung me, I bet its stinger was like that long. Probably how to get COVID in you. Injects you with that thing. But anyway, I'm glad it didn't get me. Maybe it was, I didn't die, so maybe it wasn't a killer bee. Maybe it was like a reformed killer bee. You know what I mean? Maybe the killer bee got saved. And anyway, Joe says, sounds like opinionated facts. Well, I mean, this is what they put out, This is just, and I remember hearing them talk about most of this stuff. By 2005, the United Nations said there would be 50 million climate refugees by the year 2020. Hadn't happened. 2000 snowfalls are now a thing of the past. I remember David Letterman saying that in the early 2000s. 1989, the United Nations warns that the entire nations wiped off the face of the earth by 2000 from global warming. Hadn't happened. Washington Post predicted in 2011 that cherry blossom trees blooming in winter instead of spring. That hadn't happened yet. It's amazing, isn't it? Because it's kind of like, remember they had that thing, Planet X was coming. So we're talking about people that always get it wrong. That happens with Christians too, with Christian churches. But Planet X, Nibiru was coming.
That was it.
And it was going to flip the poles. And it was going to mess up all of our seasons. And everything was going to die. And it was, it was terrible. It never happened. I don't know how. You know what I mean? It's like, what happened? Did it just, I know. Our prayers staved off the inevitable. Thank you, Jesus. Right? Isn't that amazing?
I didn't play against it.
I didn't either. But somebody did, and their prayers are stronger than our non-prayers. And so that's what got it. Yes, I'll make fun of that. Sorry, expert scientific consensus. Only a fool comes running for the 40-second cry of wolf. Don't litter. Be kind to animals. Recycling's for suckers. It's all going to end up in the ground eventually, so stop feeling guilty. Get out there and embrace all the bounty that comes with being a 21st century American. Wow. He says, like Obama, who says he believes in global warming. That's President Obama. That gets on my nerves when they don't say president before any of them. Says he believes in global warming with his mouth, but proves he doesn't with his $15 million he just spent on ocean front that we're told is doomed for flooding. Isn't that amazing? So think about that. President Obama, he says that the sea levels were going to go down because he got elected president. He said that, by the year 24 or something like that, the half the East Coast is going to be underwater and all this stuff. And they went and spent $15 million on a mansion on Martha's Vineyard. Ain't that something? Why would he spend $15 million? I guess, well, we're going to die anyway. Might as well spend it, right? Can't take it with us. I don't know. He got President Joe Biden. He's got his beach house in Delaware. I thought it was going to flood. and he's spending like $500,000 of taxpayer money to build a wall around it, a fence around it, to keep people out. Ain't that something? It's like hypocrite. You see what I'm saying? Hypocrite. And as we move through this thing, you have to just kind of look at it. And the reason I went through all these is because to illustrate that it's like, pay attention, turn your brain on, allow yourself to think. When you allow yourself to think, then you can start to actually pay attention, see things that are right in front of your face. And I guess that's the biggest thing there is to see the stuff in front of your face. What do they say? If it was a snake, it would have bit you. Well, something needs to bite some of us. Because even with church, I noticed this a lot. Here we go. I'm beating up on the church page. Even with the church, there I can see you now. Last year, we had all these prophecies, remember? Prophecy. I mean, it Trump this, Trump that. It was all revolved around a man, not around Jesus, which is really weird. And they didn't come true, seemingly, at this point. There's still some Kim Clement stuff I'm still holding on to, but it can still happen. So I'm still waiting on that. But you start to see, and what do Christians do? They keep listening. You keep listening to these people. Why? Why would you listen to somebody that's always wrong? Why would you listen to somebody that says, just thus saith the Lord? And they're wrong, like each time. Just keep being wrong. So anyway, I got a video I want to show. This is some more of what we're talking about tonight, some hypocrisy stuff. And, okay, so I will move the camera. Kind of like that. I wish I could prop it up. Let's see. No, that ain't going to work. So if the camera work gets bad, y'all, I'm sorry. This is pretty good. So this headline here, let's see. It says, "Oh my God, I have threesomes with God, and I'm having the best of my life." OnlyFans star Nita Marie tells This Morning. And she says, "My husband and I have threesomes with God." This is from the U.S. Sun. This is amazing, y'all. Absolutely incredible. So I'm going to switch the camera over, and we'll get into this thing. This will be kind of weird, but we'll try to keep it sanitary. Let's see. There we go. All right, y'all ready? All right, let's get that off so now we can see the whole thing.
Your faith sort of filters into all aspects of your life. You're now in a relationship with somebody else, a much more sexually active relationship. And you say that that God plays a part within your love life, love making, in fact.
Yes. So I know this is a funny word when you say have a threesome with God, but it's really just inviting God into the bedroom. And so because of my asexual relationship, I made a commitment that the next relationship I was going to be in, I was going to make sure that God was going to be in our sex life. Because I knew that if I had God's blessing in all areas of my life, it would be even better. And so I just decided to invite him to be a part of everything, including my sex life.
So how do you know he's there?
Well, it's just like anything else. You can invite God to be part of anything in your life. And so for me, it's just an emotional connection. And I'm much more open because I am remarried. So I do have a husband now. So I'm much more open to my husband when God is there.
Does your husband know that God is there when God is there?
Not all the time, but I do, pray that God's with us every night in the bedroom with us. And so he feels him too, even though he doesn't necessarily pray with me to have God there. He feels him too.
And you've said that by having God there, this is the best sex you've ever had in your life.
Yes. So I'm sure you guys have all seen The Notebook and, the passionate love scenes between, the two people in The Notebook. And honestly, I could say that every time I have sex, it is that passionate because God is in the bedroom with us.
How about, we don't know about what's coming on next. So anyway, that is I'm just like, what? I mean, good.
Bless her heart, she's delusional.
Oh, somebody say, I think she's entertaining demons. It just it amazes me. There we go. What? Wait, hold on. What did you just say? Oh, yeah. God is in the bedroom with me and my husband. I invite him in every night. Every time we have relations. And it's like, you got to be, that's called incubus succubus. You ain't have God in there with you. I'm just telling you. That's just, oh, good Lord. Somebody needs to grab this lady. She's a Christian, okay? I'm going to read this article. It's kind of a lengthy article, but it's like, OnlyFans star Nita Marie has told this morning, that's the show's this morning, that she's having the quote-unquote best of her life thanks to her threesomes with God. And so I look at this, I'm like, good Lord, what is OnlyFans? I looked it up. It's like this, like a X-rated site. It's like pictures, provocative pictures, stripping and stuff like that. Adult. Well, I didn't get on the site. I Googled it and pulled it up on like Wikipedia or something. I ain't look here. It's a no perv zone, okay? No perv zone. I might have a bad reputation already with some people. I don't have a worse reputation, right? All right, so it comes after Christian model. We're talking about hypocrites today. That's the theme of the day, apparently. Detailed how she has, quote, the best every time she invites God into her room, climax, there we go, and her husband in the bedroom. So when she has God and her husband in the room, and she like literally strips. She, on her little thing here. Let's see, hosts Holly Willoughby and Philip Schofield. He was amazed. He was like, "What?" Welcome Nita, 45, to the show on Monday, inviting her to share more on her bizarre bedroom antics. Yeah, I'll say. The star, who lives in Colorado with her husband, also opened up about how she feels God told her to start up an OnlyFans account to reach lonely people. Okay, yeah, because that's what God wants you to do, is take your clothes off, ladies, for lonely people for money. It's just something about it. It's just, God totally endorses that, right? I don't think so. Okay. This is getting interesting now, isn't it? We kind of breezed through the first two stories. Now we're getting into this thing. So here they said, our next guest has combined religion and sex in the most unusual way. Holly, 40, introduced Nita to This Morning. Not only does Nita believe God encourages a raunchy career, she says God joins her and her husband regularly in the boudoir. Phil, he's 59. He added that to the thing. That's the guy there. Nita, who became a Christian as a child, dived into explain how she was asexual with her previous partner, but felt God instructing her otherwise. Asexual. Paige, do you remember what that means? See, I can't keep up with all this crap.
I think it means not having sex.
That's what I thought it means. Let's see. It means that you don't have sex. Blah, 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 blah. Asexual definition, lacking sex or functional sexual organs. See, that's what I thought it meant. You couldn't. But you just don't. That's where she was at. She don't bother with it. And that was with her previous partner. But she felt God instructing her otherwise. Ooh. I didn't have sex for 7 years, she explained. That was the beginning. When I ended that relationship of rediscovering my sexuality. So that was the beginning of rediscovering her sexuality, because she's 7 years. She hadn't, been active with her partner. I don't know if it was her husband or what, because it just says her partner. Anita went on to explain that she started posting semi-nude photos online. Then she says, I was just doing the photo shoots for my own self-confidence. Of course, most Christians want to do what's right in God's eyes. So there was a little bit of moral conflict happening, you think? Posting semi-nude and nude pictures. She says, but the answer that continued to come to me was actually two things. The first was that God wanted me to celebrate my body and love my body. Right. The other thing that he said was that there will be some people who will never know about me, meaning him as God, unless I did this.
So she has to send naked pictures.
Right.
In order for people to learn about
Right.
God.
She has to send naked pictures for people to learn about God. It's just like, because Jesus, that's where he hung out, right? Was at the brothel. No. The brothel came to him. He didn't go to the brothel.
Posted.
What did Joe say on here? Let's see. I got to get back to comments. Amoebas are asexual. Maybe that's what she's, an amoeba enigma. Let's see here. She says, I do feel like there's a lot more women in the community of adult modeling that have been shunned from church, so I want to be a positive person. Yeah, they probably have been shunned from church. I mean, because, it's a little risque there. It's kind of, I don't know. I'm thinking about 1 Corinthians 6:9. It talks about sensuality. Galatians 5 talks about sensuality being a sin, and you're not going to inherit the kingdom of God. Maybe I should find that. What do you think, Paige?
I think you should.
You think I should find that? Okay. So Paige says she thinks I should look this up. Just to make sure. I don't want to be wrong. He says, let's see here. But, let's see. If you're led by the Spirit, you're not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are evident. Sexual immorality. Impurity.
Covered that.
Yeah, she covered that one. Sensuality. Yeah, she covered that one. What else we got? Idolatry. Yeah, she's using her body as an idol. Sorcery, enmity, strife, jealousy, fits of anger, rivalries, dissensions, divisions, enviness, drunkenness, orgies. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. She might have led to one. And things like this. I warn you, as I warned you before, those who do such things will not inherit the kingdom of God. Okay. So should we keep going? There's a lot. Okay, Paige, give me the thumbs up. And there's also a lot of men that might subscribe to my page that are lonely and just need someone to talk to.
Yeah, that's what they want.
Yeah,
Someone to talk
yeah.
to.
Well, they used to say, I just read it for the articles. You mean there's naked people on there? I didn't even have a clue, man. I'm darn. Nita went on to add that God gets so involved in her sexuality that she even insists he joins her and her husband in the bedroom every night. I know this is funny when you say that I have a threesome with God, but it's really just inviting God into the bedroom. OnlyFans star said, I invited God to be part of everything, including my sex life. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it just feels like anything else. You can invite God to be part of anything in your life. For me, it's just more of an emotional connection. Yeah, I'm much more open to my husband when God is there. She added, explaining that her other half isn't always aware of whether God is there or not. Oh, man. Good Lord. I guess it's just her little secret, right? He thought he was doing something right, bless his heart. God. All right, let's see. The shocked host, Holly, couldn't help but interject and ask whether or not it was the best that she's ever had, thanks to God being part of it. And the lady says, yes, I'm sure you've all seen The Notebook, the passionate love scenes. And honestly, every time I have, it's that passionate because God is in the red room with us, Nita responded. So she watches a movie about passionate sex when she's asexual, when she's not participating in marital things like that. Marital relations. There we go, right? Is that safe? Is that sanitized? Okay. And so that spirit, this lust, longing for passion, spirit comes in because she's not experiencing that passion. This spirit husband is probably, I guarantee you what it is. And this spiritual lover comes in, and she thinks it's God because it's spiritual. It touches her. It makes her feel things that her husband doesn't make her feel because it's a demon, and it does that. And then she concluded the interview with saying, I believe God is passionate. He's a lover. Yeah. I don't think he's that kind of lover. Here's a quote. God told me to continue stripping. Yeah, it's like God told me to continue stripping. Earlier this year, Nita opened up about how she felt Jesus, maybe she meant Jesus, I don't know, wanted her to continue stripping on social media despite what Christians may think. The X-rated star, who has more than 900,000 followers on Instagram, revealed in an interview with Jam Press that God was the one who told her to pursue a career in OnlyFans. That's where they pay to see you naked. They pay to see you do things. Oh, yeah. Here we go. I asked God if I should continue stripping off I I asked God if I should continue stripping off, and the answer was always yes. The 45-year-old who earns over $1.8 million a year revealed. The love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Ain't that something? God told her to continue stripping because, anyway, 1.8 to the tune of $1.8 million a year. Oh, here, I'm doing something wrong, y'all. I'm just telling you. I'm just kidding. She says, I want to let women and men know that there's nothing wrong with embracing their sexuality and being religious, she said. Yeah, actually, the Bible kind of warns against it, but, it all starts with loving yourself and trusting that when you have a desire for sex, that it's okay and healthy to ask for it. What?
Wait a minute, she's doing this online, but she's married?
I know, right? She's doing it online, but she's married. This is like adultery. Because, anyway, people are paying to
It
see
ain't
you.
like, it is.
It is adultery. It's fornication. It's idolatry. It's totally demonic. Anyway, she says, despite getting plenty of hate on her platform for mixing both religion and sexuality, the mom believes that God still wants her to continue preaching. Yeah, because of course, the God of this world wants you to do it. I believe that. Yeah, and she's a mom. Yeah. She says, I believe that God wants women to look and feel great and enjoy their sexuality, she said. By empowering myself to feel sexy in my own skin, I allow others to do the same. Right. Yeah. That's what it's all about. It's making people feel sexy. Nita opened up earlier this year about how she now makes $1 million per year thanks to her huge online following on OnlyFans. She rakes in about $180,000 a month using her page. Perversion is profitable. Good Lord. And guides a group of about 200 women in the U.S. and several other countries, including England and Spain. So not only is she very successful at this, now she mentors people and tells them, 200 other people, women, that this is what God wants you to do. Isn't that what they used to do at the pagan thing? They had the little altar girls.
I'm just going to tell you, that comes at a cost to your marriage at some point.
Well, not if he's a freak. She's a super freak. Anyway, it's just like, you can't make this stuff up. Watch this. Boop-a-doo-doo-doo. Yeah, but she says that she is, she's a Christian. That to me is just frightening. It's absolutely terrifying to me that she thinks that she's a Christian. She thinks she's going to heaven. She thinks she's leading people to heaven because she's comfortable in her own body of feeling sexy. And it's like, lady, you got a long ways to go. Yeah, but how do we wag that finger at her? No. Here we go. This is what we need. This is what we should have been playing while we were reading the article. So anyway, she lives in Colorado with her husband. There's pictures of her online. Is it drowning me out? Man. Oh man. But it's what are people thinking? She has to go to a church. See, this is where it goes wrong. This is where we get messed up. The perversion becomes legit because why? You go to one of these churches, one of these mega churches, whereas they got the $20 coffee and all this stuff, and they're yeah, we're so accepting. We have authentic community here, And so anyway, she gets in there, and the pastor, if she's tithing just 10%, she's tithing almost $200,000 a year. All of a sudden, that's what he says. She's all right. She's all right. That girl's all right. And it's like, no, it's not. Because we have so prostituted the gospel. We've so prostituted the gospel that and you see these preachers, they go, well, I don't care. I'm just going to tell it like it is. Well, I ain't telling it like it is. But it's being honest, right? It's having that honest conversation with people where you have to say, hey, man, it's this is not right what you're doing. Look, in Scripture, we see here that it's not right. Let's look at Galatians 5, and you walk them through it. But what happens, Tina says, no, she's not. Tina says, never let your spirits down, a.k.a. demons. This is so wrong. Isn't that the truth, Tina? Isn't that the truth? It's terrible. But this is what churches do. When you is adulterate the right? Is that even a word?
I don't know, but I like
When you bastardize, when you adulterate the gospel, this is what you get. Anything goes. But we just say Christian. When I worked at Pepsi, you have a lot of customers that are from India, not like American Indians, but Indian Indians, and they would talk about that everybody in America is Christians, because I even had stores where there was homosexual store managers, and they wore a cross around their neck, cross necklace, man, and it's like, no, are you a Christian? Yeah, well, yeah, I believe in Jesus. How do you reconcile the part about homosexuality? I just don't believe that part. That's where you say like this. You just go, tear it out, throw that part away. But this is the thing. We can't water down the gospel, because we remember, what did Jesus say in Revelation? He said, I will vomit you from my mouth. Jesus is going to need deliverance from you. You know what I'm saying? I'll wear that out, man. But it's like you can't be a super freak and be a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just you can't do it. You just, I mean, it's I wouldn't say my mind's blown, but nothing surprises me anymore.
people are trying to create God in their image.
Right. It's idolatry. People are trying to create God in their image. This demon comes to her and tells her that she's sexy and she should show it. To help other people, help encourage people. I mean, it's like it's like them idiots people that I used to work with. And you get fired for not taking the vaccination. And what do they say? It's helping you. This is for your betterment. This is to help you. Yes, it's going to be hard because you don't have a job, but this is for your own safety and protection. Because I'm vaccinated, and you're not. And so, with that, if you come around, I could get sick. I could get COVID that I'm vaccinated against. That's like me saying, I got to put sunscreen on so Paige doesn't get sunburnt, even though she's already got sunscreen on. It's pure stupidity. So anyway, it just, I hope y'all enjoyed that. Life is about perspective. I'm just going to tell you, your happiness, your joy being fulfilled, your joy is in Jesus. But with that, keeping your happiness and your sanity is your perspective. And I guess that's the biggest takeaway as we talked about being hypocrites today in our morning service. It was funny because Sunday school even kind of went right along with it with your testimony. Your testimony can work so many different ways. It's that when it comes about being a hypocrite, when it comes about living your life, but it's about perspective. And how do you keep that joy, that just happiness? How do you keep the right attitude in life? That's the question of all questions. How do I stay happy? Well, it's like this. You have choices. There's, first off, is your outlook. Did it happen to me or did it happen for me? We beat that to death in this ministry. If it happened to you, you're a victim. Things will never work for you in your favor. If it happened for you, that's what happens. Everything happened for Jesus. Nothing happened to Jesus. Jesus didn't go and get killed and put on the cross. He went to the cross and he gave his life. You see what I'm saying? He didn't get murdered. He gave his life. There's a difference there because he's not a victim. He's the victor. Then he rose from the dead. He rose from the dead. You see what I'm saying? And the thing is so when we go through life and we see these things, it's our perspective on it. I can look at this lady and I can go, we're doomed, y'all. Because you kind of want to say it. It's embarrassing, right? If you really let it get, fester, it's very embarrassing. But at the same time, it's like I look at this lady and I laugh. Because it's quite hilarious. I mean, it really is. And it's sad at the same time. It's very sad. And you can't help but feel sorry for the person. But what it does is it makes me want to literally reach out to the lady and pray for her. You know what I mean? Tell her about Jesus. Somebody needs to tell her about Jesus. And so you can look at it as a detriment, or you can look at it as an opportunity. This is a great opportunity. because there's other geniuses out there. Isn't that respectful? There's other geniuses out there that feel like she does. You know, that they think this is okay behavior, and it's not okay behavior. But you don't know unless somebody tells you. I mean, well, you should. I mean, you should crack this thing open every once in a while and actually read it and take it to heart. But I got a feeling that she's probably one of those people that reads with the intent to respond, or listens with the intent to respond instead of the intent to understand. Excuse me. And so it's let your mind be open. This is a picture we put up this morning with Sunday morning service, and I think it's right on line with today. Free your mind and think is what it says. Free your mind. Let your mind think. God gave you a very beautiful, wonderful mind, and use it. It says, how can you worship a homeless man on Sunday and ignore one on Monday? And that's the truth. So often as Christians we do that. And I don't think it's a conscious thing. I really don't think it is that we do that. And we just don't pay attention. We get too busy. We get caught up in who? Ourselves. And when you get caught up in yourself, who are you not caught up in? The big guy in the sky, right? So anyway, thank y'all for joining us. Thank you for the comments. I see hearts. I see thumbs ups and sweating heads and all this stuff on here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoy talking about this stuff. You have to look at this weird stuff that happens in the world, and you have to say, you know what? I love it, man. I mean, what did Jesus say? The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. And it's that's what it's all about. This is a harvest. The church, okay? The church is a harvest. I would say probably in the United States, the church is probably one of the biggest mission fields in the world. You know what I'm saying? And it's weak-kneed, lily-livered, limp-wristed. Maybe we'll get into that next week. I don't know. I don't want to beat the church up too bad tonight. We'll save that for next week. But anyway, thank y'all for being here with us. I really had a good time. Again, check us out, We Still Believe Ministries, Facebook, YouTube. If you don't find it there, look harder. All right, so this has been What's Wrong with the World Hour. We love you guys. God bless you until we see you again.